Can I have everybody's attention, please? Now, okay, we definitely improved on this quiz, but we're still not where we need to be, particularly given that the test is going to be Wednesday, and I am not going to be in tomorrow. So, I will explain how all of this is going to work out in a couple of minutes. But anyway, let's start with the quiz. Let's go over the questions that were on the quiz, and let's clean it up and, find out specifically what it was we were doing wrong, because these quiz questions are very like questions in the packet that you got as you walked in the room. So if you could straighten out what you may have done wrong on the quiz, at the same time, girls, we need to pay attention here. At the same exact time, we will be helping ourselves on our pre-test, pre-learn package so that we're ready for our test. Okay, so without any further ado, question number one, there was really only one kind of mistake that happened with any frequency in the room. And this mistake, we've talked about before. This should not happen. Ready? All right, tell me when you're ready, guys. Put your hood down. Are you ready to learn, or are you still going to be distracted? Because you need to understand that every amount of time that you waste is time where you're not getting a chance to improve. So the general equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. We've been over this a bunch. What does m stand for? Slope. What does b stand for? Y-intercept. Good. So when I write the line y equals negative 2x plus 11, and I ask you what the slope is, the answer is negative 2. Now, some people put negative 2x. If you put the x, you're wrong. I only took off 5 points out of 20. But you are wrong. The slope is specifically what's in front of the x. It does not include the x. So don't put the x down when asked what the slope is. And then it says, what's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is the number at the end. The y-intercept is 11. So generally speaking, everybody got 11, and just a lot of people got negative 2, but some people included the x. Don't include the x. Now, for number 2, it says y minus 3x equals 4. And Chris just said, and was back, yes?
On number 3, there's a question mark. It's 1, 1, question mark 1.
Let's worry about when we get to that, okay?
What you mean number 1?
Yeah.
You said number 3.
No, number 1. It's 1, 1.
What are,
question mark.
so since it says what, you put a question mark at the end.
Oh.
What's the matter, Rich?
I put like negative 2 over 1 instead.
That's fine. That's over 1 is always fine. Now, it says, what is the slope of the line y minus 3x equals 4? And there's a problem here. Ishi, pay attention. There's a problem here. What's the problem? It's not in the right form, right? It's supposed to say y equals. What does it say? Y minus 3x equals. Chris, pick your head up. You specifically asked about this and said, I had a negative 3. Isn't that the answer? Well, the good news is that you know enough to look in front of the x to find the slope. That's the good news. The bad news is that you didn't realize you had to get it in y equals form. So your first step should be to add 3x to both sides. Die. And I get y equals 3x plus 4. Now, the slope is going to be 3, and that's what they ask you for. What is the slope? So the slope works out to be positive 3. Chris, you really have to pick your head up. I feel so bad for you if you're really tired, because I am super exhausted too. And all I want to do is go to sleep. But what I know is that if you waste this 42 minutes, it's going to show up on your test. And you're going to do terrible, and then you're going to have a whole relearn packet to do. So there comes a point as you get a little bit older where you have to recognize what's going on and say to yourself, I'm going to do what I have to do. And then, after 8th period, you go home and you take a nap. And you get the rest that you need done. But to do it now is going to make so much more work for you in your future. If you take this period off, you're probably looking at adding a couple hours worth of work and then a test after the test coming up. So I don't think that's wise. Next, what's the y-intercept of 3y minus 4x equals 6? Now, the problem with this is it's also not in y equals form. But this one we have to do even more manipulating. And Selena, you did such a great job, and then you just didn't take the last step. Everything up until this was perfect. Selena added 4x on her paper. And then she did that, and she got 3y equals 4x plus 6. Then she divided by 3, and then you didn't put a divide by 3 under here. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Right? Because you got to divide everything by 3. So this is the slope, 4 over 3. The y-intercept is here. And what is 6 divided by 3, guys?
Those
2. So, whether you want to say dos or 2, you have a y-intercept of 2. All right, so those are the first 3 questions. And I want to emphasize that on your pre-learn packet that we're going to talk about in a minute, it's chock full of questions like that. Okay? So you can expect to have about 25 points on stuff related to that, maybe 30 points on the test you have coming up. Now, we're going to get to graphing. And the first line you had to graph was y equals 1/2 x minus 3. And the good news is that we did a great job graphing this. The slope is 1/2, the y-intercept is -3, so just about everybody knew to go to -3, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. One thing I did see that I did not like is some people drew very short lines, like they drew from here to maybe here or here. You want to extend that line out as far as the graph goes, okay? It's very important to do that because eventually we're going to draw a second graph and we're going to mark where they meet. And if you don't extend the lines out all the way, you might say, well, they don't meet. And the truth is, if you had extended them, they would meet. So make sure that you're doing that. Question, Stephen? Okay. Now, the last one. We had much more difficulty in graphing this last one. It says 2y plus 4x is equal to 6. Now, just like we did a moment ago, we need to get this in y equals mx plus b form. So I subtract 4x from both sides. Die. I loved the fact that nobody combined the x's and the numbers. Everybody wrote something like -4x plus 6. But then we have to divide by 2. And I get y equals -2x plus 3, because 6 divided by 2 is 3. -2 is really -2 over 1. So the slope is -2 over 1. The y-intercept is +3. Now, what I noticed with some people is they just divided by 2 right away. You can't divide by 2 right away. First, you got to get the 4x to the other side, so it's closer to y equals form. The last thing we always do is any multiplication or division. Slope's -2, so it's down 2 over 1. A little bit on the back side here. Make the graph nice and big so it covers the whole situation. Okay, so those are all important skills. Now, the next thing that I'd like to do is everybody please take your pre-learn packet that you got as you walked in the door. And let's just take a look at page 1. I don't want you to do any of these questions yet. I want you to take a look at them and see what they're like. What do you notice about these questions?
Think we did them already?
Yeah, we've done them on multiple tests already, so they're all review. Then turn it over, you're still going to see a bunch of that. And then we start talking about scientific notation, which most of the questions in there are similar to questions we've done in the past. A couple of them are different. Number 9 is different. I think there's one other one in there that's different, but again, they're all in there. Then the next page is section 3, and now we start talking about slope and y-intercept questions. Ms. Whitneben, this is where you're getting into stuff that's never been on a test before. And I want you to notice that some of it, like on the quiz, is really easy. Like, just take a look at where it says number 11 there, and it says, what's the slope of the line? And number 12, what's the y-intercept of the line? Number 13 is a little trickier. 11, 12, easy again. 13, a little trickier. And now let's look at 10, 11, easy. 12, 13, pretty easy. Then we get to 14 near the bottom there. And now you got to start solving for y. Yes? No. Now we start solving for y. And then the same thing on 15 and 16 and 17. And on number 18, you got to plug in the 7. So a lot of it is the easier version, but some of it is the harder version. Okay, so you got to be ready for that. Then we get into some word problems, like we had on our last test. Okay. Then flip the page again. We got some more word problems. Flip the page one more time. And now we have some graphing questions. And I'm going to want you to turn. Do you guys see the first page of graphing and then turn to the top of the next page? I want you to copy this down. Okay, because I need to fill in some graphs on this page. So, for the first graph, I want you to put your pen, make a mark on -1. Come on, guys, get with the game here. We're on -1. Question, Max?
Are we doing this on the fifth graph?
Yes, number 5, where I forget, because on number 5 and 6, you're supposed to go backwards. You're supposed to take the line that I drew and give me the equation. So we're going to make a mark on -1, then go up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2, and now here, and draw that line. Okay? So all I want you to do is draw that line on your paper. Mark it -1, and then just go up 3 over 2 a few times, and draw that line. And the question is literally to write the equation of that line, just like we did on the quiz last week. Okay? So touch it -1, go up 3 over 2. Next one. I want you to touch at +5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I want you to go down 1 over 2. Now let me put these in my book here. All right, so we have those two done, and then there are a couple more for you to graph, and then on the back of the last page there, it has 2 more to do, so let me give you 2 more of these. Ready? First one, I want you to touch at the origin and go up 3 over 1.
Wait, what?
The origin is just 0. So touch at the origin, go up 3 over 1. Okay, touch the origin up 3 over 1. And for the last one here, I want you to touch at -2 and go down 2 over 5. I missed on that one, sorry, a little bit. So you're going to touch at -2 and go down 2 over 5. Okay? So those are 4 practice ones along those lines. Everybody got them copied? Give you another 15 seconds. Okay. Now, what I want you to realize is this, that I've noticed a pattern. It's happened in past years, and it's, God bless, continuing this year. The pattern is as follows. Kids don't do so well on the first test. Then they take a relearn packet, they work hard on the relearn packet, and they get 15, 20, 25, sometimes as much as 40 points higher on the second test. And I'm very proud and glad that on the relearn packet they improve so much. It's a really good thing. But the problem is this. Ultimately, you're supposed to do that before the test, not after. So I was thinking about it, and it was always on a relearn packet that you guys did so much better. So I decided to make a pre-learn packet. And what I mean by that is, I made up what would be a relearn packet, except now I'm going to give it to you before the test. And what I want you to do is to take this packet extremely seriously. It's chock full, it's designed right out of what's gonna be on the test. It's broken up into sections, and if you work hard on this, the way you work hard on the relearn packet, you should do really well the first time you take the test. And if you do really well the first time, do you need a relearn packet? No. So that's really what we're trying to do, and we're trying to get you to learn how to prepare, because performance is a function of preparation. So what do we do about this? How do we handle this? The way we handle it is as follows. Today, you're going to do all of the odds in the pre-learn packet. Tomorrow, you're going to do all of the evens in the pre-learn packet. I am going to put up on the web page the answers. I'm going to scan them into my computer. First, I'm going to put a video of the quiz. That video will be on in a few minutes. Then I'm going to put the answers before I go home today to the packet up on my website as well. So what I suggest that you do is you do all of the odd questions today in class, and then tonight when you get home, whatever you don't get done. And then I'm going to be very careful to show all work. So then you go on the website and you compare your work to my work, and hopefully you're able to straighten it out. If you're not able to straighten it out, talk to your friends, ask them if they got it right, how they did it. And if it still lingers, then at lunch you can see me on Wednesday, and that extra help you can see me on Wednesday. I also intend to be at the library tomorrow night. Okay? So there's an opportunity for extra help tomorrow night at the library. There's an opportunity for extra help Wednesday morning here. And for you guys, there's an opportunity for some extra help in lunch on Wednesday, very quick extra help. Just like, oh, this is the one question kind of deal per kid. And by the time you're done with that, you should be ready to work on the test, okay? So what are you gonna work on right now? The odds. Feel free to work with each other. Oh, the other thing I would do is this. I would not waste the class time on doing stuff that you're already really good at. So I would look through the packet and find the section that gives you the most difficulty. And I would work with your friends on the section that gives you the most difficulty. If it's graphing, if it's word problems, if it's laws of exponents, if it's figuring out slope and y-intercept, getting into y equals mx plus b form, those are really the four big types of questions on the test. So work together on the one that gives you the hardest. Save the stuff that's easy for home tonight. All right? Get this stuff going now. All right, so get to work, get started, do what you got to do. Now you can go potty. Yes? Okay, let me just turn this off and do what I got to do here. Bring it up.